Hi and welcome again to our podcast. Last time we had asked Colonel Gurpreet Singh about his operation of .4875. So many viewers had many questions. So I thought we'll continue further and I'll be asking him certain questions. So my first question to you is, Colonel Gurpreet, when you emerged victorious at this battle of .4875, there must be many good memories. Obviously, the memory of being victorious must be a very good memory, and it is still a very good memory. And there must be certain sad and haunting memories, the memories that must be haunting you till date. So we would like to know about those memories.
Yeah, so every war or every battle has so-called the scars of memory, and one of the thing that I am always reminded about, and always even when I am sleeping, sometimes I dream about this, is the death of my buddy Shyam. He was actually not supposed to be there during that particular battle, battle of 4875. That is what I'm talking of. But when we were advancing from Matayan, that is the base, to area flat top to capture it, there was a place where the advance was being led by Alpha Company. So since Alpha Company had recceed the route halfway, so they were aware of the route, and it was absolutely a pitch dark night. So we couldn't see anything, we didn't know anything. So there was a place called Y Junction from where both the companies were supposed to bifurcate. We were supposed to go straight, Charlie Company, and Alpha Company was supposed to take a right track and go up on the eastern spur. But we were not aware where that Y junction is. So therefore I had requested Major Bhaskar, who was the Alpha Company commander, that I will give you a guide who will go behind your company. He'll be the last man to your company. When you reach Y junction, that is the time you just tell him that, all right, this is Y junction, we are moving right now, you move straight. It should not happen that we keep following the wrong path. So
Shyam went as a guide.
I had nobody else, so I told Shyam. Shyam was supposed to be behind me, immediately behind me, my buddy. So I told Shyam that, all right, you move ahead, go with the Alpha Company, and when you reach Y junction, and when our first guide reaches you, you just show him the route, that all right, this is the way where we have to go, and you fall back to me.
Okay.
But it did not happen. And Shyam, in his exuberance, he said, all right, I'll lead you. So he led the entire company right up till .4875 or flat top as we know it. And when you like I mentioned in my
previous
podcast about Battle of 4875, that is the time when in the morning when the missiles were fired, and then we started crawling towards the enemy Sangad. So Shyam was the leader in that. I didn't nominate him. He was probably there for his Josh and everything was there. So he was crawling ahead, and he almost reached the Sangad, and in his exuberance he just got up and tried to charge that Sangad to capture it, and in the bargain he was hit by the enemy machine gun fire, and I saw him falling right there in front of me. I was just about maybe 50 meters or 75 meters behind him, but I could not do anything to save him. By the time I reached him and held him in my arms, he was already gone by that time. So that memory still haunts me till date. It's difficult to lose
Your own brother.
comrades, brothers, but it is, very, very difficult to see your own buddy falling in front of your eyes and you are unable to do anything. So that was the first memory, and the second memory is witnessing Captain Vikram Batra's mortal remains being brought. I was the first person after his action, when his mortal remains were brought to my company headquarters. I was the first person to reach there, and I was just so overwhelmed by grief that I tried to shake him and tell him, "Oh, get up." And I patted his pocket on his uniform, and in his pocket I found Gayatri Mantra, a small booklet of Gayatri Mantra that he had kept with him. So these are the two vivid memories that I still have, and very sad memories which I can't
Recover
shake
from.
off. Yeah, I can't shake off.
Colonel Gurpreet, whenever you talk about Kargil war, you speak of Natinder very endearingly. Do you share a special bond with him? Natinder and Sanjay, you speak about everybody in the company very endearingly. I'm going to ask you a question. What is it that motivated you to, fight so bravely? But first, let me ask you about Natinder and Sanjay.
Yeah, so when we were operating in Sopor, that is a time when every company had a QRT, a quick reaction team. So the QRT was, hand chosen by me from within the company Jawans. They were the ones who would be always in the line of fire, so to say, because they were the quick reaction team. Anything happening in the entire area, they were the first to react along with me.
So you're
So
talking
they were-
about 1999 when Sopor.
98, 99, initial 99, 98, 99. So Natinder and Sanjay, they were both part of the QRT, and they were actually, whenever there was a vehicle movement, the movement was of 3 vehicles. So the first vehicle was the one that used to move, stop, sanitize. The second vehicle was the company commander's vehicle, in which there were 2 so-called bodyguards, whatever you want to call them. They used to get out, sanitize around, and then the third vehicle used to fall back and they used to cover the rear. And once the area was cleared, that is the then they mounted back and the convoy went ahead.
So why
So this-
so much of security at that time?
Sopor was a very, very difficult area. So you had a lot of improvised explosive devices being placed. So you have to be very careful. There, in those days, there was no road opening parties, nothing. So when you were moving within your area, you had to move cautiously. So this is the drill that we followed at that time. And Natinder and Sanjay, they were the leading, two, you can say guides, or you can say the leading troops of that QRT. And
You develop a personal rapport.
you have a personal rapport with them. Incidentally, when I was selecting the people who would lead the assault on 4875, both of them were volunteers. So they said, "Saab, we will go ahead with you. We will not stay behind in the company." So very Josh type people, young guys at that time. And yes, so they played a very, very important role, both Natinder and Sanjay, in the capture of the Sangad at Flat Top.
So last time I had asked you कि आपको डर नहीं लगता था? There is a lot of fear because you feel that you are going to die for your nation. You don't think of coming back. You know that आज मैं जा रहा हूँ, so I am going to die. If I come back, it's my luck, it's my destiny. So how do you motivate people to accompany you for a difficult operation where there are very slim chances of you getting back alive? So you tell me that in your company everybody volunteered to come with you.
Yes.
So how did you motivate them? I know डर के आगे जीत है. All these slogans they came pretty later on in life, But how can you just go for dying? I know the love for your nation in a Fauji is the one that drives a person to keep dreaming or aspiring to go for a war. Every Fauji wants to do something for the nation. They are ready to lay down their lives also. But what is it that drives them to do so? How does a company commander motivate them when especially when you see that there are bullets coming from all directions and there are very slim chances of your survival?
Yeah, so it's a very difficult task. I would say it's a very difficult job motivating, let alone the others, motivating yourself to go ahead.
Yes. First,
so,
tell me.
Yeah. So the fact that there is something which is known as Naam, Namak, Nishan. So every person in the army is more or less motivated by these three things: Naam, Namak, and Nishan. So Naam is the name of the country. Namak is the salt that you've had in a particular organization, and Nishan is the that regimental identity that you have. So in war, it's a little tricky to motivate Jawans because everybody knows that you are actually facing death. It's not a militant or a insurgent that you are now fighting. One man who's untrained.
No, you are willingly going to face death.
Yeah, we are willingly going because our training is far superior. When we are in peace, when we are in a peace location, we are training for this particular war.
And I've heard that it's every Fauji's dream, if war happens, that they want to take part in that war.
Yes. So it's a part of training, a part of your curriculum when you undergo this training. Not only in the academies or training institutes, but also during your unit in peace when you are actually training for war. So you are actually, in a way, you're looking for war. You're
with pride,
in a way, yes, you are not hoping, it's not a correct word, but you feel if war is there, then I should be employed, I should be the one to go there. But what happens during that particular phase when you are in the war and you see body bags coming down and you see people, your close comrades, maybe not from the same unit but from other units, but Faujis nevertheless, they coming down in body bags, that is when your morale, your josh, your everything gets it gets severely hit. And that is when the leadership of an officer comes in play. So I would say leaders are not born. I mean, you are not born with leadership traits. You acquire them as you go in your service, in your life. It's a combination of a lot of things that you go through. You train with your troops together. You sit down with them together. You have your evenings together. You have a drink with them together. You communicate. It's basically a means of communication when you're communicating with the troops, and this is valid for any corporate world also. The more you communicate with your subordinates or your peers, the more confidence you will build in them towards you. And then, of course, during war, it is leadership from the front. If you yourself do not go, if you yourself do not try and achieve the undoable or the difficult part, if you shy away from doing the difficult thing, then definitely you cannot expect your troops to do it. So you have to lead from the front, and you have to actually
lead by example.
Lead by example. Absolutely. So you have got to set an example to the troops, which they will follow, and then they see you. When they see you doing all this, they will definitely follow. Naam, namak, nishan, and all that. So they will definitely say that, all right, my leader, my boss, my Saab is actually going ahead. How can I leave him alone? So I will also go. So this is what is actually leadership, and it depends. It varies from situation to situation. I cannot give you a template that what is leadership, how are leaders, how do leaders lead. So it depends from situation to situation. The only thing that I want to emphasize here is communication. You need to communicate. You need to continuously communicate with your team, with your group, and thereafter they will follow you.
I know anybody and everybody who goes to war is absolutely blinded by the love for the nation, right? But then you do have your families also. They are always secondary in your lives? Or don't you have any weak moments? Or do you deliberately shut your family when you are going for war, because then you might get a bit shaken, you might have the love for life revived, and then
Silly, what do you think, we are superhumans or something? Soldiers, everybody, from an officer to a Jawan to anyone, the youngest soldier is human, and these emotions are always there. The moment you face anything, any adversity, you definitely start thinking about all this.
So when you start thinking about your family, does it not make you weak?
Yes, sometimes when you think of your family, you get that kind of a feeling that, oh, what am I doing? But then that is the beauty. The love for your nation and your country
Surpasses everything.
It surpasses everything, and also the fact that the army looks after you
and your family.
So you have that thing in your mind, at the back of your mind, that if anything happens to me, my family, my wife, my kids, they will be looked after by the army, and the army does it. There's no doubt about it. It is one facet of the army that has not been duplicated by any of the other services or organization in the country and in the world.